Welcome, Abe Gordon, former producer of the show, doing big things down in the ATL. Now, we've got to play something for you. Yeah, we have to do this. And you're a frequent guest now. Twice in 2 weeks would never happen on Ken Carman's watch. But we appreciate you coming on to talk about Kevin Stefanski. But we got to play some audio from a gentleman named Isaac Hayes III. What a perfect name. Great name. He is the founder and CEO of something called Fanbase. I don't know anything about this guy, but I heard this audio, and so I said, we've got to confront Abe with this audio, so here it is.
So you're going to tell me that Matt Ryan hired Kevin Stefanski to coach the Atlanta Falcons when, in his previous role with Cleveland, he tried to railroad and undermine the career of Shadeur Sanders, whose father is a Falcons player, probably the most famous Atlanta Falcons player, maybe next to Mike Vick, and bring him into a city with a predominantly African-American fan base to coach this team.
Abe, your thoughts on MLK Day. How are you feeling about Kevin Stefanski? How are they feeling about Kevin Stefanski down there?
Well, you tell me, did Kevin Stefanski railroad and try and end Shadeur's career? Because that's a lot of conversation down here. And look, I think we all understand the history of this city being a southern city, and it's been some tough times, obviously. And it is a very racial city, and there is a serious percentage of the Atlanta Falcons fan base that is viewing it in that light, that Kevin Stefanski tried to railroad Shadeur Sanders. They're going to try and railroad Michael Penix. I don't necessarily see it that way.
Telling us every day that Kevin Stefanski sabotaged Shadeur Sanders.
Yeah, and that's definitely part of the frustration here in Atlanta. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit surprised just how negative the Falcons fan base was in regards to the hire of Kevin Stefanski. And I do think some of the criticisms and the complaints that they have are somewhat fair. I also think there's a large misunderstanding of Kevin Stefanski's power in roster building up in Cleveland and the role he played compared to the role, Andrew Berry, Thashi Brown, Jimmy Haslam, and the like played up there. So there is concern, but the biggest thing I keep getting thrown down here is we hired a coach that had a worse record over the last 2 years than the coach in Raheem Morris that we just fired. That is the biggest complaint, is that this guy does not win games. And the counter to that counter would be he had 13 quarterbacks and wasn't able to develop any of them. A lot of people believe Kevin Stefanski is to blame for running Baker Mayfield out of Cleveland. And they look at Deshaun Watson in Houston. They look at Deshaun Watson under Stefanski, and they say, what happened? Who burned this quarterback? And Stefanski's just getting a lot of blame for those things.
I don't know what they were thinking, hiring Kevin Stefanski as our head coach. But it's a terrible fucking choice. 3-14, still 3-14 or 4-13, whatever the hell you want to call it, for however many seasons straight. This was a terrible choice, not just by Matt Ryan, not just by Arthur Blank, but by the entire Falcons organization.